What's up guys, welcome back for another YgoPro Duel video. Next match, Cross-Banlist Cup. We have two delicious decks. The first one here is of course Monarchs, Formula Monarchs, Frogmonarchs from back in 2012 during the Tengu Plant era. For me, this was very nostalgic and one of, at least I think, my favorite deck ever throughout the history of this game. At least for the good old school Monarch decks, this was for me the best variant, and well, you can't really compare it to today's standards with the structure deck Pantheism. That's of course superior compared to this list, but man, this list, Formula Monarchs, packed pretty much everything. A draw engine power next to the regular tribute father of the Treeborn Frog, and of course the Monarchs. I mean, you had more plays rather than just go for your one-off tribute during each turn. The second list, we have Chronomaly Artifacts. That is popular. This should be an OCG list from back then, but again, this was one of those decks slash archetypes that we got far too late here in the TCG, and they weren't really that relevant, power crept, etc. But in the OCG, Chronomaly was definitely one of the best decks during its time, but again, not that long. So which deck has the advantage? Should be 50-50 again. Going first should be very, at least the deck that's going first definitely has the advantage seat, the advantage position. So let's not waste more time, let's hop into the first duel. Okay, get number one. I think I get to start, so that's definitely good opening with a Swap Frog. I believe you do main deck, or you're main decking, I think 8 options to open with the Treeborn. I believe triple swap, so double Treeborn, triple, well, I believe, no, 10 options, right? Triple Undyne, triple swap, double Treeborn, and then the Foolish enter 1-for-1. But you know, the most like Undyne and Foolish and 1-for-1 are cards you'd rather want to special summon or keep for your FISHBORG Blaster. But again, priority number 1 is to get your Treeborn Frog in your graveyard to be tributed. So game number 1, again, I got to start. Well, play these here in this situation. I believe he could have gone for something like Durandal, but I believe Durandal can only negate normal trap cards, so no enemy controller, I think. And going for Pleiades is definitely strong against Monarchs or against Frog Monarchs, but this is early game, and early game Pleiades is quickly dealt with something like enemy controller or soul exchange. So here he can definitely sneak the win thanks to Volcasaurus into Gaia Dragon, but you know, Formula Monarchs with their hand traps, mainly Battle Fader, right? So prevent my opponent from going for the OTK. That's how it was, right? Your opponent committing to the field, committing most of his resources, hoping that they would OTK you, and then boom, you drop the Battle Fader and gain control next turn thanks to cards like enemy controller, soul exchange into a Monarch, maybe into, you know, Formula Synchron, a Synchro summon, and then you should have the game. But here in this situation, not really sure if he knew, or at least it was by accident. As you see, you know, Honest is not once per turn, so you can just normal summon your Honest and just keep using its effect of bouncing back to your hand until, you know, your opponent's Light and Darkness Dragon won't be able to negate it anymore when its attacks stats. Its attack stat drops to 800. I believe its defense stat drops to 400, but I believe it wouldn't have mattered that much. A lot of Monarch fodder ready to eventually go for game. So Monarchs leading 1-0. Now the opponent gets to start, and this is where Monarchs definitely have a lot of difficulties, going up against a full back row heavy deck, and a back row heavy deck that has like that one card engine in the form of Nebradisk. You know, Nebradisk is like a Stratos 2.0, a little bit weaker compared to Stratos, but nonetheless it can search out your pretty much your entire deck, and like a Tour Guide 2.0 as well. I believe it's Crystal Bones, that's the Tour Guides. Anyway, go for Gorse, but still Defect Failure prevented my opponent from making something like Volcasaurus or Pleiades, right? So that's always good. Here it was kinda tempting to go for what is it called, FISHBORG Blaster, discarding controller, and then it's a bit iffy, right? Should I tribute my my token, maybe the Gorse token, to go for the Monarch summon and then potentially have Formula Synchron ready to go for the Synchro summon? That might have been an option, but you know, the opponent still had like 4 face down sets, and with the option of with the possibility of that being Torrential Tribute, double Bottomless Trapple, Compulse as well. So I don't think you should, you know, quote-unquote waste your formulas that fast. Then again, if you're able to draw into more hand traps or more tribute fodder or more tributes, you can definitely quote-unquote waste or go into more formulas if you need to, right? But here in this situation, nope. That's not going to cut it. The artifacts are definitely too strong. Play these as well. So nope, no failure to save the day here. But the also important game number 3 where Monarchs get to start. And this is definitely an okay opening hand, immediately opening with the Undyne. You'd rather want to keep Undyne to send your FISHBORG Blaster to the graveyard. But if you don't have the swap or open with Treeborn, you have to send your Treeborn here to the graveyard. So any controller as well, so that's definitely strong. But you'd rather want to keep your controller for later, right? Drawing the 1-for-1 is definitely good. Maybe I should have used 1-for-1 here, going for FISHBORG, right? And then, you know, FISHBORG into Formula Synchron. Formula Synchron draw a card, because at this point in the duel I don't have any defense, right? So no Veiler, no Battle Fader, and no Gorse. So going for Formula Synchron and potentially get those extra draws might have helped. Here, same situation. Maybe go for Formula Synchron and get an extra draw. Just draw into those hand traps, right? Since that's the pain point here, even this current state of the duel. But again, my thought process here was, well, maybe I don't want to waste those Formula Synchron. Well, it's not really the optimal move to go for Formula Synchron and then immediately tribute your Formula Synchron for like a Monarch summon. That's not really too optimal, right? But here I think this was a perfect situation. I mean, Treeborn Frog ready, the opponent's monster ready to be tributed for something like a Monarch or whatever, and then have a Synchro play ready. But yes, one of those double torrentials, which he, by the way, set, I believe it was his last set, so that's a problem. And double ignition, I believe the name is. So this just is not looking too great. I believe here he does have the option to go for the OTK, but I think it needs to drop Honest, or could have gone for something like Volcasaurus again, maybe giving the one card in hand a little bit too much credit. I do top deck into Chaos, that's definitely one of the better top decks I could have had, but it is, yeah, again, the play is bouncing by the Treeborn Frog, and again, the option of Formula Synchron is not valid here, since, you know, again, play these right, and yeah, Honest, so again, it didn't really matter that much. He's still at the Honest to deal the last damage, so this was an okay duel, but maybe I should have gone for Formula Synchron much faster and, you know, gain those 1 or 2 extra draws, hopefully get an extra fader, prevent my opponent from going for damage, since here he was in not so a good position, well, with the Honest, right, but still having like a golden jet on his field, that's not really that strong. Anyway, 2-1, Chronomaly will take the 2 points, Monarchs will get the 1 point. So exciting here in this group, and the next match should follow very, very soon. Okay, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Lithium signing out. Peace.